Okay, so now let's add the background picture, okay? And we're going to use a website called Unsplash that has a lot of great free pictures, right? And they're sorted by different categories. I often like to use the category of wallpaper. It can be helpful. So you want something that will blend into the background. So like if you have an image, like an image of a penguin, it would be hard to set text in front of it, even though you can do it, but you just want to think about what it's going to look like. So if you have an image of a hand, the text in front of it is not going to show the hand, for instance. So you can add things like this mountain right here. In fact, let's go ahead and add it, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to save the image as, and I'm going to call it background. And it's a JPEG, and it's going to go on my desktop. Okay, so there it is. Then I'm going to go to my Replit. I'm going to upload it, and there's background right there. Okay, you can also, by the way, drag it into Replit if you have that option. If it shows up, like Chrome shows up, the downloads show up on your bar right there. Okay, and now I'm going to add, I'm not going to add it in the HTML, I'm actually going to add it in the CSS. Okay, and the way I'm going to do it, there's always a piece of code that I like to get from W3 Schools background picture CSS. So if you search background picture CSS and you go to W3 Schools, this is actually a really great resource for anything web-based. Right, and they give you lots of different images. Like you can do 2 background images if you want. You can hit try it yourself and see what things look like. That's the nice thing about W3 Schools, it gives you this option of trying things out. And so if you hit run, it shows you, oh, okay, like there's a picture of a tree in front of another background that's like a textured background. So you could do that, and that's how I actually got the poster that I originally had that I showed you at the beginning with James Baldwin's picture in the front and another background image in the back. I will show you that at a later video, but for right now I'm just going to show you some pretty simple stuff. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab this right here, okay? It has comments on it, meaning it tells you exactly, the second part here it tells you exactly what the code does. So I'm going to go into my CSS and I'm going to style out body, so make sure to add body, and I'm going to paste this. Now the background image that they used was called photographer.jpg, but that's not the one that we're going to use. We're going to use one that's called background.jpg. So we'll JPE EG. Make sure you show put exactly what it's called on there. So you can see, like, and let me pop it out here. You know, I can make this work. It looks kind of really nice, but what I'm going to have to do is set like a background color to the element to make it show up against the mountain here. All right. So I've used a couple of features here, like in the code it says no repeat, it says cover, which means that it resizes it to stretch it out. It tells it to center, it gives it a height, it gives it a color just in case the image is unavailable. So you can play around by deleting some of these things if you wanted to, just to see how they work. But for right now, I can just go ahead. I'm actually going to switch the backgrounds, but that's how you create the background. Another way of searching Unsplash is by using like a keyword like texture, and this actually would get backgrounds that are a little bit more minimal. So maybe you might want to use, you know, something that doesn't have it doesn't look like a photograph, it looks just like a texture. That might be a nice way of adding, you know, when you add an image, it can draw the eye to the image, which can be good, but it can also draw the eye away from the text. Okay, but that is how you add a background image into your poster.